Hey YouTube, what is up? Well, you've already seen it in the video description. Today we are looking at a Leatherman multi-tool, and that's a discontinued Leatherman, so it's a vintage tool, and it's the Sideclip. You've already seen that. But let me make two quick points for the introduction first. Okay? First point, I have a good number of knives that I really like. Not hundreds, not dozens, but quite a few. Right now in my EDC rotation I have 9 knives, including this new one. And that's really all the knives I need, right? I cannot just add more knives to my EDC rotation and say, oh, I carry them all. And so these 9 knives are already the bulk of my collection, because I don't want knives that I don't carry, that I just put on the pile and never use. That's not a thing I want to do. So, but this does not stop the urge of collecting more, right? Of getting something new that's really cool. And so what do? Well, one thing I tell myself is, well, it's variety, right? That I need to add, that I want to diversify. And that makes sense sometimes, right? You don't want always the same knife, and sometimes you want something light, and sometimes you want something heavy duty, and sometimes you want a beater knife, and sometimes you want something that's fun to play with, and so on. So that's something I'm doing now. I'm still adding things to my collection. And I will tell myself, well, it's because I'm diversifying. So maybe in the future you will see me doing more of this. Maybe, for example, I'm looking for an auto. Maybe I would like to get a nice auto. Haven't found one yet that I actually want, so pretty picky with these things. The second point is multi-tools. You see already here, there lies a multi-tool. Maybe you can see this is a Leatherman super tool. Super tool, hard to see. And so, if you're into knives, chances are you also like multi-tools, because, well, they have similar function, right? They're pocket knives and multi-tools are both really useful, and they are related products, right? They are cousins, the modern folding knife at least. So if you're into multi-tools, no, if you're into knives, maybe you're into multi-tools too. And me too. I think that's really a cool idea, that's really a cool concept. And so yeah, do I own any multi-tools? Yeah, these two. A few years back, I was really into it, right? I was hell-bent on finding the right multi-tool for me. At that time, I worked as a ranch hand, and so that was the right time, right? I always had to work, and I always needed tools on my belt to do that. So I was hell-bent on finding the right multi-tool for me, but I never found it, because I think my expectations were too great, right? I was looking for the perfect tool that had all the tools I wanted, that also wouldn't be terribly heavy and big and bulky, right? Like maybe like those heavy ones that SOG makes, those big ones like the power plier, ridiculously heavy. And of course the price cannot be too high. Yeah, I mean, of course I would get a charge or a wave if I only had the money. And needed to be available where I was at the time, not easy, couldn't shop online. Anyway, I never found that tool at the time, but I was way into it, right? I watched all the videos all the time and just thought, no, maybe this, maybe that. Yeah, doesn't mean I don't have had any multi-tools at the time. What I did have, and what I still have now, is this Leatherman super tool. Now, I'm going to make this really short for you, because the super tool is not what this video is about. The super tool is great. It has lots of useful tools. Here you have 5 layers of tools, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the large tools on the outside, right? They go around the plier heads. And so same on the other side, 5 tools, so that makes really lots of tools. Especially the large tools are really useful. Here we have the flat ground blade. There's also a full fully serrated blade on the other side. Great tool. Especially the full-size tools, the file, the saw, the blade, and the other blade all great. They have really nice grinds. That's 420 HC, not my favorite steel, but for these tools, totally well put. It's a good steel for such a thing. Anyway, so the super tool is great. So there, oh, they lock, and the lock, right? The lock works. It's pretty cumbersome a little bit to close it. It's also traditional, right? There are no outside tools, none of that, right? Once it's closed, it's closed. There's nothing on the outside. So, and these are, well, these are bolts, but there's really hardly a way to take this tool apart, right? There's you would have to use like vice grips on both sides, and then you probably still wouldn't be able to open this. It's not supposed to be opened. Anyway, the super tool is great. So there, case closed, right? Don't need another multi-tool. No, because the one downside of this is that the super tool is super bulky and super heavy. This weighs 9 ounces, and so I never carry this. I cannot be arsed to carry this around, and you can only carry this in a sheath, right? There's no clip, no lanyard ring, no anything. You really, yeah, you can put it in your pocket, and then it wears holes in your pockets, and you'll get a strange gait after a while. Or you can wear that on a belt. That's the only way. 9 ounces. That's 260 grams. Way too bulky. I never carry it. I keep it at work for, you know, light gardening sometimes. And for the longest time I didn't care, but now, right, I'm diversifying. And so I thought, let's try the whole multi-tool thing again and look for something that's lighter, much lighter, so that I would actually be arsed to carry it. And then, of course, we have to choose tools that I actually want. But if a certain tool isn't included, well, then maybe that's for saving weight, and the rest we can't have it, right? I would love to have a file on the perfect tool, a metal file, but if it's not there, then it's not there, right? I looked at the Leatherman Squirt, but that's just too tiny. God, those things are so tiny. And I looked at the Juice, and yeah, I just not in love. I'm not in love with the Juice, right? The tool selection, the scissors, the weird can opener, and the action on the pliers, the clickety cranky action. I don't like it. I'm not in love with the Juice, and so what I did get is the Sideclip. This is a sheet I got with this, but it's not original. It's made for Aitor, which I think is Spanish. Nice sheet though. Inside is the Sideclip, and you already can compare this to the super tool. Okay, so it's a bit smaller, not really that much. It's, however, a lot thinner, and it is a lot lighter. The Sideclip only weighs 5 ounces, so you know, now we're talking. This is a weight I would actually carry, and 5 ounces, that's, what's that, 140 grams. And what else you can see, the Sideclip has a clip, aptly named. Here's the Sideclip. Wiggles a little bit, but that's because it's just like you know, screwed onto the outside. It's stiff enough, so there is good tension on the clip. So you see, good tension on the clip. It opens really smoothly. Very nice. They use very tight tolerances on this. And now, if we check into here, we only have 3 layers of tools. So right, here's a knife blade, and this is the only long tool on this multi-tool, right? With the super tool, right, the longer tools would go to all the sides, and so they could go around the plier head. But of course that makes it really fat, because tools still have to go on side of the plier head. Here they chose to only have one long tool, that is the knife blade, other side, which is I think 2 inches and 3/8 long. It's much shorter than on the super tool. You can imagine it, right? Much shorter. Again, a beautiful grind that was on here, that's still on here. when now of course I got this used, but apparently the knife blade was never used. That was still the factory edge on there. It's very nice, very nicely done. On the super tool also, so that's cool. These tools don't lock, which I appreciate. It's not necessary on a small tool, and while the lock on the super tool is safe, it's also cumbersome. The plier head, well, yeah, it's a needle nose plier head, right? It's pretty sexy, I think. And yeah, just like they all are, they are more or less smaller versions of what you already have on the larger ones, right? You can really see there's no change in design. It's just smaller and less material, smaller head. But so there you go, nice multifunction plier head. Again, very smooth action on this. Still, this is going on to 20 years of age. Still very smooth, very nice, precise tip. You know, they always show you this like this with the light shining through. Very nice. And as I said, only 5 ounces, so they really had to cut on the tools here, right, to make this possible. You have only small tools here, apart from the knife blade, right? Here you have a can opener, bottle opener, which is sharpened just a bit, so you can open this without hurting yourself. But it's also sharp enough to open a can. I'm sure that'll work. You know, who still has that kind of can at home? Not me. Here you have a Phillips and a small flathead. So we know that from other Leathermans, right? They always include 3 flatheads. This is the narrowest one. It's short, but it's okay, you know. Still better than what you get, well, on some Victorinox, right? When you have to use the flathead on the can opener, right? Yeah, it works, but only if the screw is exposed, right? This is still a little bit nicer, and this is the flathead, the narrowest flathead. Some of these have good retention, some of these have not so great retention. I mean, not terrible, but some of them are really stiff, and some of them are a little. This is the Phillips, very nice 3D Phillips, right? It's another thing I don't like on these smaller, more casual multi-tools, right? 2D Phillips. Well, a 2D Phillips is really just a glorified flathead, right? That's not a thing I want. That just mars your screws and doesn't really get you anywhere. Very nice 3D Phillips, nice full size. It's full size because it bends under the pliers. So right on the super tool, you had longer tools go around the plier heads. Well, here they figured, well, this can be longer as long as it angles downwards, right? Then the plier head can still fit on top of it. Can you see that? And then that's not terrible. Yeah, that is the Phillips. On the other side, as I showed you already, a small knife blade, just big enough, or just long enough to be usable, and then a medium size Phillips and a large size Phillips, and that's it. No file, no scissors, because that's good because I don't find the scissors particularly useful. On Victorinox, neither. Here you have the large size Phillips. Cluck, cluck. And that's all there is. Of course, there's still the ruler on the back. I don't know how well you can see that. Nicely engraved. It's also nicely engraved on the super tool. And there you have it. That's all the tools. Oh, maybe not. There's maybe notch, because there's still this notch. At the time, Leatherman also made a bit adapter that would basically, an adapter goes in here, and then 1/4 inch hex bits can be used with the tool. But I've never seen one, you know. Seeing that it's just accessory. This is not a thing you see very often on eBay or anything. I don't know, maybe I would get one if it were the right price, but I don't think it will be. Those probably are pretty rare. So anyway, that is the Sideclip. nice and light, a tool I will actually carry, maybe on my belt, maybe with the sheet. Hashtag versatility, right? Having a sheet, even if it's not original, is nice. And having a pocket clip is awesome because, right? Can't be arsed. Oh yeah, sure, pocket clip, right? I'll put that on my belt or on my pocket. Pretty nice. It's not that heavy, 140 grams. So super tool, really super, really tough. You can hammer nails into the wall with this, and you know, it gets only a few little dents. It will probably surpass me, survive me, which is a bit sad, but also a bit awesome. But the side clip. Now you would think one last thing to note. You would think, oh, the full size, heavy action super tool, right? Must be older, and this must be the baby version, right? That came out later as an aftersort, right? And for the posers. But no, that's actually not true. This super tool is from 1999. You can see that they stamped those on the inside, right? Inside, under the tools. Hard to show you now. Under the tools, there's a date stamp. This was made early in 1999. And this side clip was actually one of the early production from 1997, because the side clip apparently, according to the wiki, was sold from 1998 to 2004. So this must be one of the early production models, because they're all stamped. There are like 4 stamps, and three of them or 4 of them are about dates. And they all say 1997, late in 1997. So this tool is going on 20 years of age. I think that's still in pretty nice condition and will probably also last a lifetime. Last point, this tool now features security Torx. So if you really had to, you could acquire some security Torx bits and take this tool apart and clean it, right? That was a big downside for this, right? People were unhappy because, yeah, if you're a builder or a carpenter or a welder, yeah, little bits of metal or little bits of wood or little bits of sand get in there. Little bits of sand are just grains of sand. Sand gets in here, and then it's really hard to clean this, and that sucks. This tool, while it's a lighter duty tool, yeah, you could take that apart if you had security Torx. Leatherman Sideclip, pretty cool. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.